Hi, welcome to Worship Artistry. I'm Nick. Today we're going to be looking at two different ways to play the same chords. Well, I guess three different ways because I'll show you with an acoustic, like right now. And then I want to show you the same exact chords with the acoustic, but also those same chords on electric as Cowboy chords. It sounds fine, but it kind of clashes a little bit to me. I don't know. If you're coming from acoustic and you want to play electric and you want to play something different, try out these things. These were one of the first things that I was taught playing rhythm electric guitar. And so hopefully this will unlock something for you, and I'll hopefully explain it to you in a way that you haven't heard yet, and it's really easy to understand. I was always taught at an early age that guitar is super hard. It's kind of like there's magic and you don't know what you're doing. Well, you probably know a lot more about what you're doing than you think. The gear used today is my Fender Telecaster loaded with Lambertone's Blondies. I can't suggest those enough. Going into my pedal board down here is the main sounds really are a Tilt Boost by Rev and the E89 Westminster's Dual Drive. Those things are phenomenal. The Black Hole and the Golden Reverberator by UA Audio, and then the Black Hole's by Eventide. Great stuff. The DD500 just has a small digital kind of quarter note on it. And then running into two stereo D20s by Rev, using the virtual out with a Rev 112 V30 cabinet that's inside of the amps. Going into Logic, I think it sounds pretty good. We're going to start with the power octave chord. And the reason why I like to call it the power octave chord is because it's a power chord. That's literally it. So if you know your power chords, here's an A. Here is a power octave A. So how are we going to add that minor right here? This is for every single one of these. You really just need to learn this and then add your middle finger to the high E string. It's literally the same position on any of these chords. To make an F a minor, you do this. To make a G a minor, you do this. To make an A minor, you do this. It's literally the same. It's so easy. So you're finding the A and then the octave. And then you need to add the fifth. There's your power chord, right? So we want to make it minor now. We're going to add the C, because these are the same notes right here as this, right? So we're just having an extra, it's this root. It's the same. So literally any chord you want to make minor with these power octaves, it's literally just adding the middle finger on the high E string right after your index finger. It'll always be a half step forward, like literally. So we'll go ahead and take an F. We'll make that minor. Going through this whole chord progression with the power octaves, it is this. I went a little faster than the actual chord progression that we recorded here, but it's the same. Your fingers stay the same no matter where you go. You're either just adding or taking away the middle finger, or adding or not adding the middle finger. So C octave is here for this one, and the reason why I know that is because I just know my hands are going to go like this every single time. It's just like a power chord. You keep that same pattern and then you just know where to go. So for me, I envision this note with this one, because this is just, you know, the C octave or the power chord. And then you just need to add the fifth. And then I do like to add the, you know, it's just kind of fun. It adds a little extra flair to that. So that's the C. If you want to go find F, it's the same. Just find the octaves. Here's the root. So you know the octaves. Here's, again, the roots. The F, and then here is the fifth. It's so simple. And then to find the G, we all know it's just one step above, you know, F, just F, G. So it's the same, F, G, because this chord progression is A minor. Here we go. You just need to really focus on this pattern right here. It's literally this. So it's index finger, ring finger, pinky, anywhere you go. And then just add the minor there with your middle finger. Here's a G. Now here's G minor. I only added my middle finger. It's that simple. Now I'm gonna play this over the acoustic, but with just the power octave styled chords. That sounds nice. There's a lot of separation because you got to imagine like some keys in there. You know, it's not just some bass, drums, and acoustic, but you got lead guitar, you have vocals, you have keys, and you need to have space. Everything needs to be able to breathe and not just such like a wall of sound of just open or cowboy chord. So what we're going to do for a triad is let me just teach you the G triad very quickly. It's this. Triad is only 3 notes. It's very mysterious, but like we demystified it on one of our videos not too long ago that we put up. If you want to go check that out to learn about some triads, that's very simple there. But really, a triad is just a bar chord with less notes, in my opinion. So literally, here's a G bar chord. Now let's strip away and only go down to 3 notes. It's these ones. And then, just imagine everything. It's an F is down here. We're gonna go up to G, and then an A, and then and so forth up the neck. However, with the A minor, here's an A, and then to make that a minor, you're gonna lower the third by one half step. Instead of this as a major triad, we want a minor triad for A minor. It's that simple. It's literally just pulling off, again, the middle finger in this instance. So, A minor. The chord progression with these triads, again, it's just the 1, 5, and 3, or the 1, 3, and 5. That's nice. It has a little bit more of a throaty sound to it. Like the power octaves is very high because you got all the high E kind of strings going on in there. But with this, it has a very like mid-range kind of sound. So it sits kind of like lower in the mix, in my opinion. I like that. It really fills out, and you can do some really cool arpeggiated stuff with it too. But let's listen to what those triads sound like over the top of the acoustic. Here's one thing that I think about with the triads and the power octaves, because they're so different. If you do have two electric players, an acoustic player, keys, drums, man, this is just turning out to be the perfect band. But if you do happen to have, the perfect storm of musicians on stage, so to speak, you could do the power octaves one guitar and the other one could do the triads. And then the acoustic does the open chords. And then you have the nice pad and lead kind of lines with the keys. And then until like the lead line or whatever, for whatever song you're doing comes in. There's so many different things that you can do, but one of the best things that you can do as this new electric player coming from acoustic, or just as like a new rhythm player, just communicate with the other band members. Find out what they're playing. Don't wait until Sunday to be like, all right, I'm playing the same exact chords as you and I'm not changing my mind because I didn't practice anything different. No, reach out to them before the rehearsal even. Hopefully you do have a midweek rehearsal. I know not everybody does. It's not the end of the world. But if you do have that, reach out to them beforehand because hopefully you're practicing before the midweek rehearsal as well. So practice, midweek rehearsal, and then rehearsal for Sunday morning on Sunday morning. If you do that, a lot of churches I've been to have that kind of flow, and it worked well for me. I liked that, and it gave me plenty of time to practice, and it gave me plenty of time to communicate to the others on team about what parts we were playing. I often play lead guitar, but sometimes I want to, help others get more comfortable with lead, because that's why a lot of people don't play lead guitar, is because of the lack of confidence. So I like to sit out on some rhythm stuff, and if there's a lead line that's really, really simple, like a single note line or something, the rhythm guitar player can have that and get them some confidence. It's not all about showing what you can do all the time. Another great unsolicited piece of advice is just play the rests. That's the best advice I've ever been given. I can sum it up to the best top three things really, was the play the rests, power octaves, and then triads. Those are the best three things that I think I've ever learned on guitar. Learn when to not play the rests, learn power octave chords to have a little different variation, and then learn the triads, because man, those expensive chords, again, there's only 3 notes, but people think they're expensive. They do sound really cool. And believe it or not, there's different versions of the triads that I just showed you. If you want to know any other of these type of chords, like more versions of these triads, just put a comment below and we'll see what we can do for like a part 2, more advanced triad inversions. Hopefully you found this useful, helpful, and it was easy to understand, because for me, it was one of the easiest things that I think I've ever mastered. It took me about 5 minutes for both the triad and the power octave. You just really need to know your root notes. And for me, I really, at the time, only knew the low E string notes all the way up to the 12th fret, and then it repeated, right? So it was really easy to then understand the octave on the D, and then I could find the octave on the B very, very, very easily. With knowing the power chords and knowing the bar chords, it's literally like, again, the F is, and it's just taking away some of the other notes. That's nice. And with that, I will bid you adieu, and I will see you in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified, because we're putting out content all the time. We have more advanced things coming. We have other beginner things. We're doing some solo stuff, and we have some other great lessons coming out soon. So we'll catch you out there. Bye.